唔使咁大，可唔可以啊？好。Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm your host, Joyce. Today, our topic is about the tips on exporting food and beverage products to China. You'll find many practical and useful insights, an update on what needs to be aware of, and how to stay away from the pitfalls. So our first speaker is Lisa Sun. Lisa Sun is the senior consultant of the Food Safety Compliance Division. She has many years of experience in frontline quality and equipment management in the food industry. She also has a comprehensive view on the development and compliances applications of food standards and regulations in Southeast Asia. Today, she's going to share the latest updates and useful information on imported food process, new policies, and standards in the custom during the COVID-19. She's going to take us through the inspections and quarantine regulations with more details. So without further ado, let's welcome Lisa.
Yes, Joyce. Hello, Joyce. Can you see me?
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
Hello. Hello,
Hi,
Joyce.
how are you? How are
I'm
you?
fine. I'm fine.
That's good.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Okay, let's get started.
Okay, I will show my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay, hello. Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Lisa from Foodmate China. Thanks to the host and Saladplate today. I will share some views in terms of compliance management so that you can know how to export products to China and reduce the risk of non-compliance in interior Chinese market. So the topic is regulatory requirements for imported food in China. Okay, all enterprises exporting food to China should know who is responsible for the management of China's imported food. What is the process of importing food in China, and what regulations and standards you should be met. I will share my topic from the following 5 aspects. So now let's coming to the first part. China's competent authorities for import food safety. The first one is the National Health Commission. We often you can call it NHC for short. This commission is responsible for the food safety risk assessment and work with other departments to formulate China's national food safety standards. And the following 3 departments. First one is the competent authorities. The 3 departments I circled is the competent authorities for China's food safety supervision. First one is State Administration for Market Regulation, SAMR for short. And this department is responsible for the supervision of food production and operation in China. Second, there's Ministry of Agricultural and Rural Affairs is in charge of the supervision of agricultural inputs and edible agricultural products before entering the Chinese market. And the last one, General Administration of Customs of China, we often call it GACC, is the main department for imported food supervision. And it is responsible for animal and plant inspection, quarantine, and supervision of imported and exported food. And other ministry and the commissions will cooperate with these three departments in implementation of regulatory matters in different processes. And local governments will are responsible for local food safety supervision. This is an imported food safety supervision system in China. And the GCC plays a leading role in supervision of imported food safety, and is a main supervisory agency in the entry and custom clearance process. After entering Chinese market, SAMR and MARA are mainly responsible for the division of label and coordination during the intel supervision process. So GCC has some responsibilities and coordination with these two departments in terms of imported food safety supervision. Okay, next I will talk about the relationship between different departments in supervision of imported food. First is MARA and GCC. These two departments are responsible for adopting laws and regulations on entry-exit, animal and plant quarantine, and formulating, determining, adjusting, and jointly publishing the list of animals and plants prohibited from entering, and formulating and issuing entry and exit bans and lifting orders. In terms of international cooperation, these two departments will sign the international intergovernmental animal and plant quarantine agreement. The MARA is responsible for signing the agreement, and GCC will work with MARA signing and implementing the agreements. As for GCC and SAMR, these two departments will establish a common mechanism to avoid duplicate management, inspection, charges, and penalties. If food safety events occurring abroad may have an important impact on China, or serious food safety problems found in imported food, GCC will take risk warning or control measures to and notify SAMR to deal with it. And then they will establish a notification and coordination mechanism for defects in imported foods and imported products. These are for the part one. These are for part one. And then we come to part two. New revised regulations for imported food. In April this year, the GCC issued two important regulations about the import and export food, and it will have very significant impact on import and export food. So in this part, I will introduce some important provisions about based on our compliance experience. So first one is the regulation number, GCC number 248. We can call it for short as registration regulations. And the second one is GCC number 248. We can call it for short as administration measures. These two regulations will come into force on and for the registration regulations, it emphasizes the source provision role of the registration system in food safety management, and the manufacturing enterprises of five kind of food will expand to all food categories of manufacturing enterprises. As for the administrative measures, the regulations emphasize the implementation of all responsibilities of all parties. Here, the all parties include the competent government department of exporter, the producers and operators, and the regulatory responsibility of Chinese customs, etc. The first topic I will share with you is the registration category amplified to all food categories, manufacturing enterprises. It will be divided into two methods according to food categories. One is 18 categories, and the others, these two methods. For 18 categories, manufacturing enterprises, it will be adopt the registration, recommended registration by competent authorities. And the procedure stays the same as now. First, the step is the manufacturing enterprises apply for registration for competent authorities, and then competent authority recommend the enterprises to Chinese GCC, and then GCC will issue the registration number approved. Will publishing the registration information. And for the others, enterprise will apply for registration by itself. And this method is a new question, is a new requirement. And the manufacturer enterprises will registered for with GCC by itself or by some agents. And the Chinese and GCC will publish the registration information, including the registration number. Here, 2 points should be noted. One is the competent authorities, and the other is registration number. In the following slide, I will interpret them in detail. Okay, for the competent authorities, in all the version of registration regulations, the competent authorities include the official departments, officially authorized organizations, and the trade organizations. But in the new registration regulations, the competent authority refers to government agencies in charge of safety and sanitation oversight of food producing facilities in country or region. Yes, it's very different. It's very important. So I list some main competent authorities in different countries. I know maybe you will focus on some Asia Pacific countries. So I listed these countries. Competent authorities for these countries: America, FDA, and USDA, and in Singapore is SFA, Singapore Food Agency, And in Philippines, is PFDA, Philippine FDA and MOH, and other departments in Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam, Japan, and South Korea. Next is about the registration number. It often puzzled someone. So here I will make it clear. And for the on the issue of a registration number, the registration number mentioned here is the issue of recommended registration, because enterprise registration information will be published by GCC. At present, there is no specific example for a self-registration. So I don't have a very good example for you. So I think maybe it will be start the registration number of self-application will be start with CN maybe. And as for the recommended registration, the registration number is assigned by the competent authority of the exporting country or region, but it is finally issued by GCC and listed according to different products and countries. So I take dairy products for example. This dairy product, and this is listed the approved countries from Europe, Asia, Oceania, America. So take USA, for example. This is the list registration information approved by GCC for America. I can't say some very rule, some very it's not there is no particular pattern of the registration number. So just a bunch of number, or just a bunch of number here. But for Russia, the registration number approved by GCC by Russia competent authorities start with RU. It has not just a bunch of number. It's different. Maybe it depends different countries. And now, at present, China implements registration management for 5 kinds of food: dairy products, meat, aquatic products, bird's nest, and honey. And besides these 5 kinds of products, in the future, there will also new 13 kinds of product manufacturer enterprises need to be registered, adopt the recommended registration. So these manufacturers enterprise of these 13 types of products should be familiar with the registration management requirements as soon as possible and make preparations in advance. It's meat, aquatic products, dairy, bird nest, bean products is the same as before, as now. So egg, oil, stuffed wheaten products, edible grains, so as a new kinds of product food. Another question for the materials for registration, especially for the recommended registration. We have compared the new and old registration regulations. The content have changed a lot, especially at 1, 3, and 5. This should be the new question. There are new requirements. For the first one, it will be provided by the competent authorities And for the second, item 3, documents, this requirements should be prepared by the enterprises. And for item 5, item 5 also emphasizes the responsibility of the competent authority of exporting countries or regions. It needs to endorse the food safety controllability of enterprises. And other items are not new requirements in terms of name and may have a certain correspondence with the previous requirements. But this one, for item 5, the enterprises should be pay more attention to, because the competent authority will inspect or review your food safety system, whether it works well or not. And another change for another topic for registration regulations is about the change. In general, the change, if you want to change some registration information, you can, the enterprise can use through the application purse to submit these 2 kinds of materials, and then the GCC will assess, evaluate it, and decide whether to approve it. But when the production site legal representative name or registration number is changed, it's not a general change. It needs to be reapplied for registration, and original registration number will be automatically invalid. So here, by the way, there are other 2 situations that need to be readjusted. The first one is when your registration exceed validity period, and the other is you're familiar to apply for renewal of registration after the deadline. These 2 situations, you need to reapply for registration. From here, from this slide, we will talk about the key content of administrative regulations. From this slide is about the evaluation and review of the food safety management system. Article 11 to Article 17 of the administrative measures stipulate the evaluation and review procedures for the food safety management system and food safety situation of overseas countries or regions. Here we focus on Article 12 and Article 14. Article 12 is about initiation of national evaluation and review. There is 2 situations. One is the customs activates on a request from an overseas country or region for new varieties of food imported to China. Yes, that means the food categories for first time import to China. On this situation, the Chinese customs will evaluate and review the food safety management system of the enterprise. For the second is customs, when Chinese customs find some problems for food already being treated. Yes, the first second situation. And as for Article 14, it's about I want to talk about the video inspection. Video inspection is an innovative regulatory attempt, especially till now, COVID-19 pandemic has not been effectively controlled all over the world. So video inspection greatly increases the operability of inspection. So it is reported that Chinese government conducted a video inspection on several Russian enterprises in June, which may also involve other countries in the future. So here, I will introduce the basis of the inspection for your reference. May include the following documents. First one is COVID-19 and food safety guidance for food business. And the other is hygienic standards for specific products and general hygienic standard for food product enterprises, health standards for specific products signed between China and your countries, and inspection and quarantine requirements for specific products and other laws and regulations in China. Based on these documents, Chinese government will conduct a video inspection for manufacturing enterprises. So, next, when we talk about the video inspection, I have two talk mentioning the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Yes, this actually is new, very new, because of SARS-CoV-2 virus and the like. In the future, food contaminated by quarantined infectious pathogen is forbidden to import it to China, and this regulation is aimed at all quarantined infectious pathogens, including SARS-CoV-2 virus. If any of them is detected positive in imported food, contaminated food will be prohibited from importation. So far as following a question, if COVID-19 virus is found in the production process, which suggests that enterprises should refer to and implement the COVID-19 food safety guidance. This guidance is also one of the key bases for China's video inspection versus enterprises. Yes, it's very important. And because of the COVID-19 pandemic, so Chinese government takes some control measures on contaminated cold chain food from last September. Yes. Investigations on the epidemic in Beijing Xinfang market and Qingdao last year showed that there is a risk of cross-border transmission of SARS-CoV-2 through cold chain food transportation. As a result, the GCC has issued emergency measures against imports of cold chain food since last September. The specific requirements are the imported cold chain food or its packaging from the same overseas manufacturing enterprise is detected positive for SARS-CoV-2 virus nucleic acid for the first time, and the second time, customs will separately suspend the acceptance of the enterprise product import declaration for 1 week. And then will automatically resume after the expiration of the period. If was detected for 3 times or more, the customs will suspend the acceptance of enterprise product import declaration for 4 weeks. Yes, 4 weeks, and or will also automatically resume after the expiration of the period. From last September to the end of last month, The main positive results were about aquatic products, especially aquatic products and meat products, especially aquatic product. The top three countries are Russia, India, and Indonesia, and followed by the Pakistan, Ecuador, and the USA, etc. Yes. Therefore, it is necessary to do a good job in the production process of personal protection to avoid infection, as well as cross-border transmission through coaching food. Yes, it's very important. GCC will often issue some notification of emergency preventive measures taken by imported coaching food and enterprises. The position, the positive detection position is mainly are the outer packaging. Yes. So this slide, I will talk about the labeling requirements. It's for labeling requirements. The regulations stipulate some specific products labeling requirements. Mainly include these four kind of food: fresh, frozen, meat, and aquatic products, health food, and special dietary food. And for fresh, frozen meat and aquatic products, the labeling requirements are basically consistent with the current management requirements. And for health food and special dietary food, the labeling requirements must be printed on the minimum sales package, and the sticker is not allowed. And the main change about the labeling is about the label language. It may actually be a bilingual label mode, and this requirement is the first time that it has been clearly stipulated in the import and exported food regulations. And then yes, in the future, maybe in practice, the imported food are already printed in Chinese and English, or in Chinese and other languages of the exporting country. But it's the first time written in the regulations. And the below of this slide, I listed some general standards about the food for the food labeling. First one is a general labeling requirements, GB 7718, and the second is about the nutrients labeling for pre-packaged food, GB 28050, and the third one is for the special dietary foods, GB 13432, and last one is it's not a specific standard. It's the labeling may be very different in different kinds of product standards. It's a kind of labeling requirements. And this way is for a slide is about the food safety. The regulations required the food importers audit overseas exporters and overseas manufacturers. It's focusing on two, and the review content will focus on the following two aspects. First one is the formulation and implementation of food safety risk control measures. And second is assurance foods conform to the provisions of Chinese laws, regulations, and national food safety standards. Yes, Chinese customs will also further check and verify the performance of importers' responsibilities, especially for the high risk or other foods with special requirements. So through this way to further improve the effectiveness of food safety source control. Yes. And last about the import and export regulations is I will talk about the supervision and the sampling of imported food. The regulations required stipulate a new requirement about the annual national imported food safety supervision and sampling inspection plan. It's not open to the public. So here I'd like to introduce the sampling measurement mode of imported food to China. At present, random sampling and precise control are used to improve the effectiveness of sampling. And therefore, and for the random inspection, GCC has made some, the Chinese government make some decision-making, establish some decision-making mechanism between different departments and has some sampling rules. And for precise deployment control, GCC will broaden data sources and carry out man-machine combination for risk analysis. I no longer set upper limit and lower limit of the inspection. As then is a very important. It's a very important point is evaluate the failure rate. Yes, through these measures to carry out the supervision and sampling of imported food. Therefore, it's necessary to there is no definite statement about the sampling rate of each type of food because it's dynamically adjusted according to the actual situation of imported food. Yes, this is coming. We come to the end of part 2, and then we come to part 3 about imported food process and new regulations. A new regulation has stipulated many processes that have not been written into the regulations before. All overseas export enterprises need to register and the prohibited import of foods contaminated by SARS-CoV-2 virus and other simple infectious virus has been made clear. These are relatively large changes. Therefore, the actual process change only revolves the applicable product category, etc. So here I will introduce the import food process in China. As we know, GCC is in charge of supervision of administration of safety of imported food in China. A local customs shall be responsible for the supervision and administration of the safety of imported food within that jurisdiction. The process of food import in China can be roughly divided into the 3 processes: access before import, inspection during entry, and supervision after entry. So for the before entry, we should notate these 3 four parts. First is system assessment, is the national level. And a second step is overseas manufacturer registration. It's not in the future. Now it's not a Euro process, but in the future, overseas manufacturer registration will expand it to all food categories. So it's a big change here. It's a big change step. Yes. And three is exporter filing. It means some information registration, just information registration filing, and import filing, import in China filing. And then during inspection, during entry, we need to know about importers declaration. Then when customs accept and your product will be imported at a designated port and then be controlled, and then conduct inspection and quarantine. If the product is qualified, the customer will release. And if the product and disqualified, your product will be returned or destroyed or conduct some technical improvement. Yes. During after entry, we will I'll talk about three aspects. First is import established relevant system, for example, a record system, traceability, and the sales records, and then GCC issues and adjusted import food policies. You need to know about these documents. And then the products, supervised products in the supply chain will be supervised by ISAMR. Yes, it's for the whole process of imported food. And then I will introduce the before entry and during entry, the things you must to pay attention to. Okay, first one is preparations before entry. You must know. First one is the system evaluation. Yes. As for system evaluation, here's the issue of exercise. GCC exercises and reviews the integrity and effectiveness of the food safety management system of the country or region exporting food to China, so as to determine whether the food safety situation of the country or region can reach acceptable level of risk of protection in China, and whether the food produced and the system can meet the requirements of Chinese rules, regulations, and food safety standard. Yes, if the risk assessment results show that the risk is controllable, GCC shall determine the risk management measures consistent with the appropriate protection level of China, and determine and issue the relevant inspection and quarantine requirements for signing protocols and bilateral agreements, publish a list of food exported to China from countries or regions that meet the assessment requirements and have traditional trade or enemies. Yes, at present, the system catalog of food export to China from countries or regions that meet the requirements of evaluation and review and have traditional trade with China. Yes, this at present this system. Yes, I show the screenshot of the website. The system includes the excise information of meat, dairy, meat, aquatic products, dairy products, traditional Chinese herbals, bird's nest, casings, plant-derived food and the bean products is 8 categories of food. At the same time, also need to check these two kinds of documents. Bilateral agreements, inspection and quarantine requirements, and access or prohibition list. Yes, this is take some example of the document. Of the documents, yes, some access list or prohibition list. For salad plate, focusing meat, aquatic products, dairy products, when this to 4 kinds of food, salad plate, for example, among which meat, aquatic products, dairy products need to be system evaluation on the country level. The one no needed to carry out. And I list some frequently questions. First one is no, asks whether products other than 8 categories listed in the system do not mean that there are no access requirements. No. For example, eggs and egg products also have access requirements. But at present, China has not imported egg and egg products from other countries or region. Yes, and for the second one, those not in the catalog system cannot be admitted. No. For example, there is no access information for Russian dairy products in the catalog system. You can't find any information. But GCC has issued the requirements for the two-way trade inspection and quarantine of Chinese and Russian dairy products, allowing Russian dairy products to export to China. It is understood that the system may not be updated in time. Yes, so I mentioned that you should to check the bilateral agreements and inspection and quarantine requirements between China and your countries. Yes. For the third one, I suggest that you should pay more attention to the dynamic changes of access information. Access information is dynamic, yes. So it is after allowing access and establishing trade relationships, GCC will continue to pay attention to the food safety system of exporting cultural region and conduct retrospective review. If problems are found, the import will be suspended, such as the occurrence of major animal and plant epidemic or food safety incidents in the cultural regions. The import will be suspended or stopped. For example, Ireland for meat, frozen beef, frozen and refined beef fat, access status is suspended. Yes, not all the information in the catalog system is active. Yes. Last one is products involving species should be based on a scientific name. The products I take you should confirm with the system whether you are inconsistent with the information in the system to make sure it's the same. The species, the genus are the same. Yes. This slide is about enterprises in qualification, and for the three kinds of for overseas manufacturer and overseas exporter and Chinese importer, they should in the import process, the overseas manufacturing process will be registered, and overseas exporter and import should be filing in some online system. And the overseas, these three categories need to adopt you can visit these three kinds of products need to can adopt recommended registration. Yes, because they are in the 18 categories of food which need to be recommended registered by the competent authorities. And for one, the registration, the enterprise should be applied for the registration by itself. Yes. And for overseas export filing and Chinese import filing, you can visit this this link, and you will see that it's screen and log in the online system to submit some information. And then during the inspection, import inspection, the food will be imported. Some kind of food will be imported at designated port. So here comes some questions. The first one is, why import at designated ports? Why? As here I want to talk about explain some reasons. As is from the GC's website. First one is about food safety and animal and plant disease epidemic risk preventability and inspection ability and quality of work, trade demand, and other factors. If certain designated ports meet the conditions, these conditions, it can import some kinds of related to animal, plant, and some high risk level food. Yes. And the second question is about which products will be imported at designated ports. Yes, that will now for food. Imported food, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kinds of food need to be imported at designated ports. Fruit, chilled aquatic products, meat, edible aquatic animals, and grains. I list some examples for your reference. Yes, the 4 kinds of products that Saladplate focuses on meat, aquatic products should be imported at designated ports. Yes, and for dairy, there is no requirements about ports. Here are listed some designated supervision sites for imported chilled aquatic products, and for meat. This is the list. The list that has some content for include the number, customs zone, and designated regulatory set name, the postal address, business unit name, and place or site customs code. For chilled aquatic products, I listed the top 7 custom districts: Qingdao, Harbin, Fuzhou, Nanjing, Hangzhou, etc. for the top 7. Yes, at least this is the top 7. And there will designate regulatory sites 81. Yes, you can import the chilled quality products from this 81 designate regulatory sites. Yes. For the meat, the top 7 include top 7 custom districts include Qingdao, Nanjing, etc. And there will 141 designated regulatory sites. Yes, you can import your meat. You import meat from these customs and corresponding designated regulatory sites. And for inspection and quarantine will be 3 parts you should be pay attention to. For include on-site inspection and supervision and sampling and labeling identification, 3 aspects. Okay, let's take a look at the first one. On-site inspection, we need to pay attention to the following 7 aspects. The first one is the safety and health requirements about the transportation and storage sets. A second is the material object is consistent with the declaration information and the attached documents. Next is a good condition, the hygienic condition of inner and outer packaging, and whether the food, packaging materials, and bedding materials of animal and plant origin are in accordance with the regulations for the implementation of the entry and exit animal and plant quarantine law, especially whether the disease and insect pests and mixed wastes and soil are carried. Yes, focus on this point. And next is conformative labels, marks, and instructions of inner and outer packaging. And then the sensory properties of food. Yes, in China it means the under the quality parameters in the product standard. Yes, and then it's about the freshness of the frozen food. I know Saladplate focuses on frozen food. Yes, so you should pay more attention to this requirement. Whether the central temperature meets the requirements, whether to the legends, whether freezing and refrigeration requirement, environment temperature meets the requirements, and the cold chain temperature control equipment and facilities operate normally, and whether you have very well, you have the temperature records. Yes, and if necessary, the cooking test can be carried out. Yes, this is for on-site inspection, and for supervision and sampling. They will can divide the supervision and sampling into three kinds of sampling and inspection. First one is routine sampling. The GCC will implement implementation of import food inspection plan, annual plan. And for the second one is strength sampling inspection. And that means GCC will increase the proportion of sampling inspection on imported food according to the result of risk assessment. Yes, if GCC find problems, your product will be inspected. The frequency will be improved. Yes. And the third one is about the detention inspection. Yes, it's a little bit like the FDA's detention without physical examination, but policy, but not quite the same. In China, detention inspection means if a qualified imported food is found again after strengthening sampling inspection, or there is evidence showing that there are major potential food safety hazards in imported food. The food importers are required to submit inspection reports issued by qualified inspection institutions to the customs batch by batch. Yes, it's different from FDA's DWP policy. And for label identification requirements, I have introduced them in the interpretation of number, the import and export food regulation. That's here. Okay, let's make a summary for this part. It's very important, and this table is converted by some GCC's documents that are not open to the public. A summary of import conformity assessment requirements for types of products that Saladplate focuses on meat, dairy products, or quality products, and one for the this part indicates that this item, and this item does not apply. For meat, dairy products, aquatic products, the country level evaluation of export country system is needed, all needed, yes. And registration of manufacturing enterprises, this four kind of products all need to be registered. These three kinds of food cannot adopt recommended registration. Yes, recommended by your country's competent authorities. And this for one, there is no need to recommended by the competent authority. The enterprise can applicate by itself. Yes, and for import and for all kinds of four kinds of food, the import and export should file filing with under GCC's online system. As for official certificate of exporting country origin, I listed them some certificate for some meat is need health certificate and certificate of origin. For dairy product need health certificate, and for aquatic products need inspection and quality certificate and a certificate of origin, and for one need certificate of origin. And quality proof is not for all kinds of meat, dairy product, and quality products. I listed some very specific type of this kind of food. As for meat, excluding cooked meat products. Yes, for dairy products, only raw milk products, and this kind of milk. As for quality products, limited to farmed aquatic products and so on, yes, etc. Yes, not for all kinds of these products. And designated ports and supervision sets. Dairy products, one, are not need to import from designated ports. Yes, meat and aquatic products should be imported from designated ports. And on-site inspection, supervision, sampling, import, and sales records for all these four kinds of food are needed. Yes, these are for part 3. Let's jump on to part 4. Introduction to entry, disqualification, and compliance. This part, I will show the general situation of the imported and qualified food, as well as the qualified information of the 4 types that 4 types of food that 4 types of products that Saladplate focuses on, and then give compliance suggestions according to the main unqualified reasons. Then I will give the compliance basis separately in combination with the main reasons for non-conformities. Okay, we started. This slide is the overview of GACC import and qualified product notification. And we did a statistical study on the imported and qualified products since 2016. FoodMate also has such a system to query the more details. The data is conducted as a statistic from FoodMate is back unqualified product system. We can say that the number of unqualified products was largest in 2017 and began to decrease significantly as jump in 2018, but reluctant in different from then on. And here I give a table about unqualified product category and main reasons for disqualification and the entry part. Top 10 unqualified product categories include beverages, baked goods, alcoholic products, candy, meat, alcoholic beverages, and condiments, milk, special dietary foods. 4 cans, these 4 cans of food, yes, Saladplate focuses on are included, yes. And the main reasons for disqualification include top 5. Top 5 I respectively include incomplete information and additives, labels, quality parameters, and microorganisms is a top 5 main reasons for disqualification. And entry part listed top 5: Shanghai, Shenzhen, Xiamen, Tianjin, and Guangdong. This listed the place of origin, the food from. Yes, the top 5 are respectively Taiwan, China, Japan, United States, South Korea, France, Vietnam, Australia, Italy, Germany, and Thailand. These top 10 countries or regions according for more than 61% of the unqualified product categories. Yes, this is for the whole. All the categories. And next. And next about the meat, quantity of imported and qualified meat and meat products since 2016. We can say from Saladplate focuses on frozen food, so I show both The meat products. This is meat for meat products, and the fresh frozen meat. Yes, for Saladplate focuses on frozen meat, frozen food. So I list both the data, both kind of data. I can see from the picture that basically the unqualified imported meat products are mainly frozen meat. Yes, it's very close to each other. Yes, it's very close to each other in all different years. So look at the change in this figure. Yes, it increased a lot from here. Increased a lot from 2018. It's actually caused by a large increase in imports. This is the biggest difference from the other three types of products. Chinese people's consumption demand for meat has been very strong, always strong. Yes, after the outbreak of African swine fever in 2018, especially from 2019, China's import of meat products has increased greatly. Yes, and I also listed unqualified main reasons for disqualification for meat and meat products and fresh meat, and the entry part, both the meat products and fresh meat. The first top one reasons for this disqualification is incomplete information. Yes, incomplete information, and followed by quality parameter label, not allowed to import, and the last one is different. For meat and meat products is microorganisms, and for fresh meat is record. A product was record. Yes, and the entry part is almost the same, a little different. Yes, and for place of origin, the top 6 are the same for both meat and meat products and fresh meat, and among which these 6 countries according for more than 61% of disqualification and qualified product, and fresh meat these 3 countries according for more than 67%. Yes, this is for meat products and fresh meat. Next is about the dairy products. Yes, dairy products. A change of unqualified dairy products and imported food was basically the same. Yes, and the main reasons for disqualification include top 5. In this respectively include incomplete information. Microorganisms, shelf life, a new reason, additives, and quality parameter, and entry port Shanghai up to 56.91%. More than half of the dairy products and qualified milk and dairy products import from China, from Shanghai. Yes, and the Italy, France, Australia, Germany, Netherlands, Spain, United States, Taiwan, China, New Zealand, South Korea. These 10 countries or regions accounting for more than 85% disqualification. Yes. And for aquatic products, as in 20 it's in 2021, a 10-year fishing ban on the Yangtze River will be fully implemented. There will be no room for the increase of domestic fishing aquatic products in the future. So the supply of aquatic products will further depend on the development of aquaculture and import. Yes, so there will be more import of import of aquatic product in the future. Yes. And this qualification, the quantity of the import and qualification is not has a very regular rule as reluctant. And the main reason for disqualification top 5 include incomplete information, top 1. And other include animal disease, not allowed to import. Not allowed to import is about the excise, yes, excise management. And additives, quality parameters, and for fresh aquatic products, first one is top 1 is incomplete information, animal disease, not allowed to import. Quality parameter and additives, yes. And Shanghai, aquatic products entry port Shanghai is the first one, top 1. And for fresh aquatic products, Qingdao, import from Qingdao is top 1. And for aquatic products, this 6 countries or regions accounting for more than 63% of disqualification. And for fresh aquatic products, this 6 countries or regions accounting for more than 58%. Yes, top 2 are the same. Yes, Ecuador and Vietnam. And for alcoholic beverages, it one. From the result, you can see from the result, there is no obvious correlation between the unqualified quantity of white wine and beverage, alcoholic beverage, but the proportion, that's why proportion is also very small. Still not small, yes, not small, not very small. And I listed the main reasons for disqualification of the first top 1 reason is packaging requirements, and top 2, second is followed by incomplete information. Yes, packaging requirements is the first one. It's different from other products. And label quality parameter additive. Yes, you can. They are same. The additive quality parameter label incomplete information. We see them in different kinds of food, and they are for the main reasons for different kinds of foods. And the top 10 countries and regions of include France, Spain, Australia, Italy, etc. And this 10 countries or regions accounting for more than 85% disqualification. So this is for one unqualified imported one products. Okay, incomplete information in the about we can see them for many times. So I will the reason this reason, yes, in qualification appears for many times in 4 types of products, and it's basically ranked first or second. It shows that a problem is quite representative. Yes, incomplete information for unqualified imported food is the first reason. Yes, so it's very representative. Both exporters and importers should focus on the solution to this problem. So the incomplete information always include incomplete custom declaration information. Importers should pay attention to this reason. And no official certificate or qualification certificate. Although this certificate will be provided for import, no certificate. The second, but exporter should provided some official certificate to the importer, and no certificate of origin. And last one is inconsistent of goods and the certificate, etc. So I list for this one. I will list for fresh meat, dairy products, quality products, the general requirements for the general requirements about for information. For incomplete information, and on-site inspection and the laboratory inspection, and also this 4 kind of food will be submitted, will be required to provide some kinds of certificate. As you can see from I listed all the almost all the certificates and the materials. And for additive, the second one is for additive. The use of China's requirements on the use of food additives are mainly stipulated in this standard, GB 2760. And I listed some for sulfur dioxide and the max level. Yes, you can check. You can check the details in this standard. Yes. And for additives, there are always 2 kinds of problems. One is the additives you use in your products not approved in GB 2740, and its other is extra range use is you use additives in your products that not permitted to use in such kind of food in according to GB 2760. Yes, GB 2760 is quite complicated. There are different schedules and annexes that need to be combined. FoodMate has developed a small database for use of food additives. It can release a convenient and quick query. This is a database, a homepage, screenshot for reference only. This is the food category. Yes, you can take for reference, and you can know whether a kind of additive can use in such kind of food. And for mechanisms, 2 kinds of standard should be paid attention to. One is GB 2010 2, 9, 9, 21, and the other is about some kind of product standards. For example, I take 3 examples. For pasteurized milk, you can reference for GB 19645 and GB 2758 for 1, and GB 10136 for animal aquatic products. You can find some requirements for different kinds of microorganisms. And for quality parameter, for aquatic listed almost some very representative standards for aquatic products. And for 1, GB 2758, and for fresh meat, you can reference for this kind of standard. But also, China has also a very many kinds of standards for cooked meat products. And for dairy products, I take some very representative products for reference. Yes. And take pasteurized milk for reference. The parameter, quality parameter always refers to sensory indicators, color, taste, and flavor, texture, fat, protein, physical chemical indicators. Such kind of indicators. And then let's come to the end. The last part. I will review the China's import policies and standards during the first half of 2021. As first is about the GCC issued 9 imported food inspection and quarantine requirements notice, and among which 3 kind of them related to dairy and meat products. Yes, and first one is about beef cattle. Second one is about milk and dairy products. Yes, allowed to export to China. Second one, the last one is the mutton, lime, fruits and chilled mutton from our country, other country were allowed to export to China. And the second one is about the warning notice. Yes, during the first half of 2021, GCC and other departments issued 23 warning notice about preventing an introduction of overseas animal disease into China, to strengthen the monitoring or prohibit direct or indirect import relevant products. As warning notice is about this kinds of animal diseases. Yes, for different countries because of animal diseases outbreak in different country or region. Yes, and this is a lifting ban for fruit and mouth diseases, parts of laws. Yes. And this kind for this picture is about some important draft and revision about the related standards for the 4 categories of products that Saladplate focuses on. One is about GB 2760. 3 important amendments. One is optimize the query usage method of it, and then delete the requirements for use of additive in some products. For so I take this important one. This kind of acid and its sodium salt is in prepared meat products, and cooked meat products will not be used in such kind of food. Yes, and last one is added instruction for use of some additives. Nitromycin used in stewed meat products, used on the surface, and the depth should not exceed 5 millimeters. Second one is about National Food Safety Standards of cheese. GB 5420 will be implemented on November 22nd, 2021. Deleted the limit requirements for yeast and mold, and the production label should clearly indicate the transportation and storage temperature, and add other information about the fight contained claims about such kind of food, cheese, etc. Last one, some other standards for formulated and revised in China. Please take more attention to them. Revised, such kind of standards are were revised, and this four kind of standard are formulating. As maybe they will be publishing or will be implemented in the future. So please take more attention to it. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you, Lisa, for sharing all the details with us. You cut through the complexity and break it down for us. Thank you for bringing us behind the curtains. We know a lot more about what product categories we go with, what qualifications, and what's the exception to the rules. Thank you. We have a lot of interesting questions from the audience. So the first one is, if my enterprise is already registered, do I need to re-register in 2022?
Okay. For this question, I think registered enterprises do not need to register before the expiration of the term of validity. You can apply for renewal of registration within 3 to 6 months before the expiration of the term of validity according to the new regulations. Yes.
Okay. So how about if I want to export some nuts to China? Can I apply for registration by myself?
No. Your product not first up under the category nuts and seeds. Nut is one of the 18 categories kind of food that require recommended registration. So you should first register your product with the food safety authority in your country, who will then recommend it to GACC. Yes.
Right, that makes sense. So the last questions from other audience, he was wondering, he said, I saw you listed some Chinese standards on the slides. If there is no particular standards or regulations for my products, how can I export it to China?
First, I need to make it clear that there is no corresponding national food safety standard. Means for imported food, including not only product standards, but also safety limit standards for the use of food additives, microorganisms, contaminants, pesticides, and veteran drug residues. If the classification of a certain product cannot be found in these standards, it can be regarded as a product without national food safety standards. In this situation, Chinese food safety law stipulates that if for the imported food without national food safety standards, overseas exporters, overseas production enterprises, or their authorized importers shall submit the relevant national or regional standards or international standards to the health administration department of Chinese State Council. Yes.
Okay,
If I
that's
refer
right.
to
That's right.
international standards. Yes.
Okay, that's probably the rule we can live by. So thank you, Lisa, for sharing with us today. Thank you so much. Our
You're
next
welcome.
speaker is Holly Young. Holly Young is the Digital Business Director of Informa Markets. She currently runs the Saladplate platform. Saladplate is a premium B2B online marketplace for the food and beverage and hospitality industry. Today, Holly is going to share some business insights with us on how to penetrate your products into the China. So please welcome Holly Young.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you and welcome to be on this webinars. So my name is Holly and I work in digital department in informal markets. So just thanks Joyce and also Lisa on sharing how we do export to China nowadays and especially after the COVID-19. So actually informal markets, we host around like 24 trade shows in Asia. So that will particular to focus on food and hospitality. So actually I'm going to share my screen and then share of some recently that what we are doing for our suppliers all over the world. Because at Saladplate, we just launched this products since last year, so it's since May. So it is almost a year product at the moment. And then actually we work with different kind of like parties, associations, etc. And then to make sure that we are still keep running on and helping for the industry to collaborate and also to network in this period of time. So you can see Saladplate actually is the primary international wholesale marketplace for sourcing food, beverage, and also hospitality equipment products globally. And then this is much more on the brands that you are very familiar with and also with our buyer. So actually you can see FHA, which is based in Singapore. And then in September, we have Halifax, which is much more on physical show. But if from last year, actually we have developed a platform that is a marketplace to develop a network for our buyer and supplier to make connections. And this is some of run-up and also recommendations from our team, because continuously we are helping our team to our suppliers to do lots of the networking to our buyers all over Asia. So it's including China and then also those shows that we have in the region. So for example, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, etc. And then so that's why that we have a lot of experience that we helping our customers, especially suppliers, to do the trade business around this period of time. So as you know, like food, actually like sampling and then tasting is quite important. So that's why I start from this at the beginning of this year, we start to do several campaigns to invite our suppliers to send the products to the regions or the target countries, and then we help to distribute the sample to the target buyer as a lead generations. So for China, it's a very like potential market for all the suppliers. But before that, actually, we have some recommendations when you are looking into this market, what you are going to need to know or need to prepare. That's why we have these like inspired sections for all our suppliers today. So you can see the Chinese product catalog, which must be ready. And then I just show you a great example on the right-hand side in the screen. So you can see it's from Spanish. It's much more on the olive oil and those kind. And then you can see the packaging even have our like simplified Chinese, the certificates, and also the brochure also in Chinese as well. So that's also helps the ambassador or even our buyers in China to know more about the products and how does it look and how's the packaging. And then as you all know, for no matter it's in China or in ASEAN or Asia countries, the majority, I mean, the markets is quite still not affected. It's much more on the retail side. So retail in terms of the supermarkets, the e-com store, etc. So that will be very important to our buyers or even importers to know about how does it look like in the market and how's the ingredient over there and etc. And then the second one is the Chinese style packaging. So which is nice to have, but I think that will be very great that you show the product's uniqueness through like in Chinese and then also Chinese style. And then also if you do business with Chinese, actually suggest to have a Putonghua translator. And then actually our team also supporting on this kind of like translator. So no matter if you have a meeting with our China buyer, we also can do the translation for you. And then also that we can do some like add-on service if you are interested on the to do export to China. And then also some run up that from Lisa. So you can see you should use the GB2760 to check the product catalog and also to ensure the formula compliance of your products, which is also the product can ship to the China. And then should list your product name, brand name, related picture, and also slogan clearly on the FOP. And then the last below list is all the products exporting to China must have Chinese label printing on the package. So this is quite very important that when you are planning ahead to do business in China, when the first step that what you need to do. And then actually we have some package. We have a premium rich and then premium match recently. So this is much more on the lead generation, how we connect you with the China market or ASEAN market. We can help you to send sample to your target countries, and then we help you to promote to the target buyers. So this is how we are I think ideally actually every day our team in Hong Kong or even in ASEAN countries in different offices, we also doing the same task every day to line up our buyers to our suppliers already. And then next will be more on the go to China. So go to China as Lisa explained among the custom clearance and also all the details, which is quite unique and also different from the other ASEAN countries. And which I said that is each of the countries, they also have their customs as well. So that's why we will have another section for the ASEAN countries later on. But for this one, the Go to China package, which will focus on China. So you can see right here, actually, we are already running several campaigns in China. So this is, you can see the photos right here. So you can see this is happened in our hotels in back to last March, so just March, and then in around 4 days, which generate around 700 plus leads generation to our suppliers. And then we also line up like 40 plus meetings for our suppliers as well. So that's why how we engage. And then you can see it's quite direct. So actually you can send a sample on site, and then we will help you to showcase it on in the show floor. And then we will also pre-register our target buyer to get the QR code, so they can use the QR code to come on site and get the sample that you already shipped to China. So that will be the main focus, that how we connect you, even though maybe we have a travel restrictions and then may have some issue that we can't travel, still can't travel this year, but that will be keep our business running and also the opportunities coming up. So this is how we generate the leads and also create the opportunity for our international suppliers. And then thank you so much. So thank you so much for today. So I think it's just a quick one. Yeah, if you have any questions, just email us sales@saladplate.com, or you can scan this QR code, and this is more evaluation form. And then please stay tuned. Actually, we will have the ASEAN version later on. Thank you so much, and then stay safe, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Holly, for showing us more about the premium rich and match and how it can take us through to the China markets. So we have a few questions from the audience. Let me see. So the first question is, will there be any staff in China assisting the custom clearance?
For this question, yes, we have a team in China that we can monitor the custom status and also closely and notify you if there is any problem. And also our colleagues will arrange the next steps once the samples will arrive in China. So actually before that, the whole procedure is you get interest on the to ship the sample to China. So get in touch with us, and then we will help you to arrange the samples. And then you also get the custom clearance on those products that you want to target China market. And then at that point, we have a team over in China already can handle it. And as I mentioned before the show or before we send out the samples to the direct target buyers, we will send the promotions and also the target buyers that they really interested on your products. And then at the end of the day, actually those leads will also give it back to you so you can contact the buyers directly. Yes. I hope that I can answer the questions.
Yes, it's very clear. Thank you. So we have another question too. One of the audience is asking, what should I prepare before sending off the samples?
Great. So that's why you are in this webinars today. So make sure you have the necessary papers for the custom clearance, and also your sample should have Chinese labels or Chinese brochure for quick and easy understanding. So this is also help us to match you for the target buyers as well, because majority in China they are only speak Chinese or only read Chinese. So this is the must do that all the necessary papers for customs labeling, and then what myself and also Lisa mentions on those things. Yeah.
That's right. And how about what's the next step? What's the next step after buyers receive the samples?
Okay, so actually they have two ways. When our buyers, actually they will get our invitations. So actually we have their contacts and then also which company are they from, and then we make sure they are not to see clients. So because we are doing trade, and then actually we want to make sure this is right and also a B2B target buyer. So for that particular actions, they will get the QR code, and then we get their contacts already. So once they receive your samples, actually the leads will also pass it back to yourself, and then you can contact them by yourself, or even through our team. What I'm talking about is the premium match program, so that will wait our team to be a middleman, and then we can line up the meetings for you. So this is how that we work on that as well.
Okay, that's right. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Holly. And thank you everyone for joining us today. Lots of takeaways about importing to China. Thank you again for Lisa and Holly for giving us a clearer pictures on the game plan. And just a quick reminder, real quick, leave us your questions or contact if you want to know more about Saladplate or anything regarding importing to China. Our team will contact you after the webinar. So we'll do our best to answer your questions. So
wait, I think one of the audience also have any other questions.
Let me take a look. Okay. Yeah, there's one question from the audience. It goes like, may I know how Saladplate charges on their service of new buyer referral, and also after every referral is done or before referral?
Actually, we have the buyer referral program. So if you're interested in this, is it Miss Yip? Yeah, Miss Yip. So actually, I will maybe our teams will contact you about the buyer referral program later on. Yeah, definitely that we have that program and also work with different kind of parties now at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Holly. Thank you so much for that. So great. That's a wrap. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being with us today. Saladplate constantly hosts interesting webinars with different topics, interesting products, and also with different speakers. So take care and stay safe, and see you all next week. See you all next time.